Hey lovies, welcome to my channel, Craft Away with May. I'm May. Welcome to my old and new subbies. I'm so glad to have you all here. We are going to be doing, yes, some more fall DIYs. This is our second to last video for the season. We are going to start preparing for Christmas DIYs later next week. So right here, I'm just showing you guys a few items I'm using because we are going to be using empty Kleenex boxes or tissue boxes to make some really beautiful decor today. So I'm really excited about it. It's so easy and simple to do. It's almost so easy that you can't even call it a craft or DIY, whatever the case may be, but we're gonna do it. So what you see I'm doing right here is taking some clothespins that I did separate. I had to use a total of 45. Originally I thought it was gonna be 44, but when we got to the end, I did need to include one extra one. So you just need 45 clothespins, and you would separate those. And you're going to line them up just like you see I'm doing here. Now, you want to start with the bottom and then at the top. I found that was like the smartest way for me to do it because I knew there was going to be some overlapping, right? And I wanted to make sure the bottom was level so it wouldn't be wobbly, because y'all know me. You know, all it takes is just one little thing to happen and it's all over. So I was very proud to say it was still a little off. You know, some of them started going at a slant, but it was still level. So you could just see like a little bit of the bottom of the box, but it's all good. But that's what it looks like. So I'm not going to take you guys through the whole process of me covering this whole box. You know, it was so repetitive. And I just went all the way around. Now, if you choose to recreate this, now you could definitely take something and cover that bottom. But I chose not to do that. And we definitely couldn't cover the top because we need access to that opening there. So the next one I'm doing right here is I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm going to go through those grooves of the clothespins, and it fit perfectly in there. This is a very thin jute twine that I got from Walmart, and it fit nice and snug in there. And I just did, you know, little beads or lines of glue. Why do they call it beads of glue? Because it's like, to me, little dots is beads, but a line is a line of glue. I don't, oh, okay, let's not go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, I put a line of glue in there, and I'm just going to wrap this around. And then I'm going to try to create like a little cute pattern with it. But, you know, it was nothing like all that, but it was still something cute just to zhuzh it up a little bit, just to keep it from looking so much like clothespins. The pattern in the clothespins actually look cute to me, but again, I want to make it a bit more decorative. So once I get that all glued down, we're just gonna cut that excess off, and that's gonna be pretty much it for this piece at this point. But once I get the string and all that, or jute twine, moved around, then I'm going to look at it for a minute, because I was like, this is really cute. I really like it. I really do. And who would know that it's a tissue box? Now, one thing you could absolutely do is actually put tissue in here if you want it. But because we glued it down, it's like a one and done type of deal. So, you know, I'm like, I don't know if you want to fold like napkins and put them in there, totally up to you. The options are endless of what you can do with this. But what we're going to do is just, we're going to make like a little tree, a mini tree. Okay. So right here, I'm taking one of these leftover pieces from the Dollar Tree plungers. We had used them in a challenge about a year ago on the Just Our Imagination challenge. Now, the other night, my good friend Kat Jo, she did this little trick with the wood dowel, and she stuck it into the pool noodle. And I was like, that's pretty neat to help add some support. And so I didn't know I was going to be making this, but I was like, that's actually, you know, a really smart move, because it does give you some added space to add more glue. Anyway, so I decided to try it out, and it worked perfectly. I did it on 2 projects, and so you guys, you know, if you haven't tried it, try it. Tell Kat Jo, thank you for the idea. Pretty nifty and neat. So I just go in with a little hot glue here, Now, I should have added in some Aliens tacky glue, but I wasn't thinking about it at that point. And so I had this little oval wood cut out, and I just adhered that to there. I'm sorry I'm holding that so long for you guys to see, but I'm just making sure it's on there. So once I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and add more hot glue to this, and I'm going to add this down into that opening. So that's why we couldn't cover that part up at this point, but we are going to cover that up, of course. So we're just going to stick that right down in there. Now I will say, if you choose to recreate something like this, you can definitely remove the little plastic around there, but I kind of think it's going to help in the long run, and you guys will see why. So right here, I'm just taking some of these little decorative river rocks you can find at Dollar Tree. And this is just going to help to weight this piece down. Now, it already had a little weight to it when I added the clothespins, but the rocks kept, made it just a bit more stable. In the event you want to put this outside, I wouldn't actually recommend it, but again, it could easily be knocked over if it's not weighted down. So no matter where you decide to put it. So next I have this floral picks from Michael's, and I really love the colors of these maple leaves. And I was like, you know what? I already used some of them, but I had 2 bushels here. I just added them to either side, and the wood dowel, or the plunger dowel, whatever you want to call it, it blended very nicely with those the stem pieces of these floral picks. So here I had cut some down already, because again, I used them on other projects, and I'm just filling in those little gaps, because again, one was full and the other one had some pieces that I had trimmed off of it. So now, to cover up that base, I'm just going to go in with some of this Spanish moss right here. And this stuff, y'all know, it just gets everywhere. Ugh, it gets everywhere. I hate it, but it's so pretty. Right? So I'm just going to go ahead and cover up where you can see that tissue box. And then I had this pre-tied jute twine bow that I've had in my stash forever. I ordered these years ago, and I still got quite a few. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to add this to the front of this. And it actually looked really cute. But what started happening here is I felt like the colors, or the tones, were just running so close together. So again, I like the outcome of this, but I decided, let's just darken up that wood just a little bit. And so I had some burnt umber. I took some burnt umber paint and put it on a wet napkin. And if you guys have been with me anytime, y'all know that's my go-to. So I just did a light little staining around that. And I really like the way it came together, so yeah. And that's it for this piece. I was like, this is really cute, and who would know this was a tissue box, right? I added in that little pine cone, just, again, just to add some more decoration to it. But that's it. I love it. And I want to give a shout out to Veronica. Thanks, boo, for buying me 5 coffees. I appreciate it all so much, you guys, from the bottom of my heart. That is just a way to support my channel, where it helps me to buy those little knickknacks that I don't always have in my stash. Like I mentioned before, like my terracotta teacups, paint, glue. That's what that would go towards. So if you can contribute, I appreciate it. If you can't, I still appreciate you. I just appreciate the fact that you're here riding with me. So thank you, lovies, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Veronica. That is one of my sisters in Christ. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going on to project number 2, and we're going to use yet again another tissue box, right? So here I'm taking some of this chipboard that Kathy Jo had sent me, and I'm going to trace out for all 4 sides. So right here, all sides were not equal, so what I was going to do is just use one side and trace it all out, and then I realized, like, no, that one side is just a tad bit smaller. So anyway, once I trace that out, I'm just going to glue this on with some hot glue. This does not have to be perfect. It does not need permanent glue here. I am only putting this on here because I didn't want the pattern of the box to be shown. So this was, if you paint it, I felt like it was going to like get wrinkly, or bubbly or whatever, you know, it's just, it wasn't going to look good. It wasn't going to work how I wanted it to work. So I figured this would be the best way to go about that, because you're not going to see it. I just didn't want to, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I just need to cover up that pattern. So right here, I'm taking another piece of pool noodle right here. Now I chose not to put the wood dowel in here because that meant I would need to cut it down, and I was like, I'm too lazy to do that. So I am just going to use the pool noodle right here. And what I am going to do is take this little half bead. What you see I'm doing right there actually was putting some Aleene's tacky glue up in there, and then I'm just going to press this half bead to fill that hole. And it's going to kind of serve as this, it's going to serve the same purpose as how the wood dowel in the first project did. I just didn't want it to go all the way through. So we're kind of repeating the process here again, just slightly different. So next I have a beautiful fabric from Hobby Lobby with these cute pumpkins on them. They're very neutral, had the little traditional orange pumpkin, but the other pumpkins were neutral, and I really like them. So I wanted to use this fabric on this project. And yes, lovies, don't forget to hype the video. I want to thank you guys for hyping up that last video. Y'all showed up and showed out for your girl, so thank you so much. It really meant a lot to me. It ranked me at number 6, which was really cool. Again, we don't know what the outcome of this is going to be, but that just touched my heart to see that you guys were rooting for me in that way. So lovies, thank you. I can't thank you enough. And this is what I mean by just you guys being here and showing up. It makes my heart smile, and I'm so grateful for it. So thank you for hyping this video, hyping that video, and hopefully you'll be able to hype this video if you have some hypes left. But if you can, again, just hitting that like button, leaving comments, it serves the same purpose. It really helps to get the videos out. So yeah, let's do this, lovies. So what you see right here I'm doing is taking that fabric and I'm just tucking it into that opening. Now these openings really serve a good purpose right here. So I'm just tucking that down in there around where the pool noodle is. Now I am going to go in, I was running my mouth. So, but I did add rocks to this as well. If I didn't do it already, I feel like I did. But I added rocks in this too to weight it down. Now, again, when you're putting rocks in here, don't be too concerned about the bottom falling out or anything, because you do have that added stability in there where you're gluing that wood piece down. So that will lock it in place. And I'm not going to be handling these items, you know, too much. So I wasn't too fearful about that. But right here, I'm taking this piece of birchwood piece and I just painted that in the burnt umber because I wanted it to be, a little bit darker than what it was. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and twist that up into the middle of the pool noodle. And just to make sure it's nice and snug up in there, which is pretty cool. And so then now I'm going to start adding in some leaves to this. And if you haven't guessed it already, we're making a fabric pumpkin, a tissue box pumpkin. Let me correct myself, lovies. We're making a tissue box pumpkin, okay? Which I think is super cool. I had these around and I promise you guys, I did not know I was going to use them. For whatever reason, I decided not to throw them away, but I guess I did subconsciously think, knew I would use them for something, but it just came to me. I was laying down and I was like, oh, use those tissue boxes. And there you have it. So this is what I came up with. I'm sure you have seen something similar to these done using other items, but I thought it was really cool, a cool way to repurpose those tissue boxes. So right there, you see I'm going in with more Spanish moss, another pre-tied miniature bow. Just gonna put that right in front. Now, I wanted to add a pop of color here, and you'll see in just a second. I'm going to go in and add some maple leaves. Now, I have this garland that I had in my stash from Michael's, and I was like, this would look really pretty here. So I'm just gonna cut those little plastic little stemmy things off of them. But first, what I'm gonna do is, I've seen many content creators do this, where if those florals or wrinkled or, you know, kind of twined up, they just go in and hit it with that heat gun. Just apply a little bit of heat, not too much, because you can burn them and melt them, but it will flatten them out for you, and it really works. So I really like that. So I'm just gonna tuck those right there behind the peduncle. Try not to cover up the greenery, and that is going to be it for this piece. Now, I did think about adding some wording to this, but I was like, nope, we're going to leave it just as it is. And we're going to jump into project number 3, which is what? Terracotta teacup number 41. All right. Now, this is probably the simplest of simple terracotta teacups that we have done in our series thus far. But I was on the struggle bus trying to come up with something else for fall. I think I have created every fall type of terracotta teacup there is to create. But I was like, okay, I was looking through my craft stash and everything and just trying to figure out what I could do. Now, I painted this in the burnt umber. What you see I'm doing right here is going over it with the hazelnut paint by Waverly, and I'm just giving it a distressed look, trying to make it look like wood. I was not successful at that, okay? It did not look like wood. It just looked like I distressed it. But anyway, I kept rolling. So right here, I'm taking one of these little wood rounds that you can find at Michael's. And then I'm taking this little miniature fence. And this is like in the dollhouse section. No, it's not. I don't know where it is, but it's at, you get it from Hobby Lobby. It's not in the dollhouse section, but I'm going to wrap this around this wood round. Okay. And I'm just using hot glue here because, I know I'm not going to leave this piece as it is. I'm sure I'm going to be wanting to repurpose it at some point. So I'm just going in with hot glue. And this was already, I had already used it on something else. And ironically, it just perfectly fit around this wood piece. So I was really excited about that. So I'm going to close up that little, the opening there. Again, using hot glue and just shaping it because it is wired, and I wanted to get it as close to that circular round as I could. So then right here, I'm taking a macrame ring and cutting that in half. Now, if you have not been here and you're joining us for the first time, what we've been doing on this channel is we have been taking terracotta pots and turning them into terracotta teacups and adding a theme to them. And as you heard earlier, we are on terracotta teacup number 41. What I do is take a macrame ring that fits perfect to the cup, cut that in half, and that becomes our handle, and that's what takes it from a terracotta pot to a terracotta teacup. So right here, I glued it right in the center of our little scenery, and what I decided to do was to make an apple orchard, okay, using one apple. Now, this is a faux wooden apple that I got from Dollar Tree a few years ago. Now, I have not seen them anymore. I was only able to find 2 at that time. I wish I had found more, and I held on to this one for good glory. And so, like I said, when I was looking around through my stash, I saw it, and I'm like, what can I do with you? So I took my Cricut Joy Extra and cut out the letters to spell apple orchard. And I really like the font on this. It was very country style, like mercantile style writing. And I really liked it. And it went on the surface perfectly. I was so happy. I didn't really have to apply a whole lot of pressure. But it is very delicate. It is, I want to say it's like ceramic. But it is, you know, it's very delicate. So anyway, so right here I am going in with more greenery, and I wanted these leaves to be really big because the apple is big, right? It's sitting on this little bitty terracotta pot or teacup and I'm not going to have other apples around it because again, it's a faux wooden apple, so I didn't have any of that in my stash to match it, like any miniatures. So it was like, we're going to make this really, really stand out. And I'm one of those, if you've been with me, I do like big things on small surfaces or small things on big surfaces. Like, I don't know why my eyes like stuff like that, but it does. So I was like, we're going to over exaggerate this. So anyway, I'm taking some of this super moss that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to tuck that around here. And I was going to go with the Spanish moss, but because of the colors of the apple and the teacup, I was like, it's just going to kind of blend together. Even with the white fence around it, it wasn't popping for me. So once I do that, we're going to glue this right on top there. And again, using hot glue because I know I'm probably going to disassemble this maybe. I don't know. So far I haven't disassembled any of the terracotta teacups. But here I'm taking some of this little scatter and I'm adding that in there just for the color because it was the closest color to the apple I could find. So next I'm going to go in and I am going to add another little miniature pre-tie bow. Since we've been doing that throughout the video, might as well continue on with it. And I'm proud to say that we got through this video with minimal shenanigans. Like, I mean, we still have fun, but I was pretty impressed with that alone. But here we are, lovies, at the final reveal. If you're still here riding with me, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. And I want to hear from you guys. So make sure, if you haven't already done so, to like, subscribe, comment, and hype. Don't forget to hype the video when you like the video. Once you hit that like button, scroll over to the right and you'll see the hype button. Press it as many times as you like. You only get 3. So even if you don't hype my video, hype your favorite content creator. I'm okay with that too. It helps all us small YouTubers get out there for everyone else to see. So it doesn't matter. Even if you don't hype me, hype someone. So here we are. I gotta say, project number 1 is my favorite of today. I am just amazed that we used a tissue box to create that. I do love our little pumpkin as well. I love our terracotta teacup as well, but number 1 is my favorite. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you have a favorite of today? Leave that in the comment because you guys know, y'all know how much I love to chat with you guys after each and every video. So I want to hear from you. All right, and here is our terracotta teacup for all of y'all that are joining me today. What I also like to do is I like to show every single teacup we've created throughout the series, not cereals, series. We thought we got through this without shenanigans. Series. I like to show everyone that we've done in this series at the end of the video. It does go by pretty quickly, so it won't take up too much more of your time. So stick around to see if you identify a favorite one, or if you have an idea for a new one. We do have a running list going. This one was not on the list today. It was one I had to pull out of my hat, but you never know. Add something to the list. We'll definitely put it there. If we can accomplish it, we will. If we can't, we'll do something. We will always do something on this channel. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys. Like I say, I've shared with you guys, I am, I got my top 13. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to top 15, but if I do, hopefully I'll be able to put a compilation video together for you all. But YouTube has just been really has made it kind of difficult for me to do that. And I'm not sure why, but I'm still working on it. So we'll see. We're on the road to 50. I'm excited about it. I know we're going to surpass 50, but hey, we're going to just keep going until we just can't go, I guess. All right, but here they all are. I hope you guys see one that you like, or one or two or three. I'll take that. I know some people have told me they're going to wait until the series end to see which ones are truly their top favorites, which I think is super cool. That just makes my heart feel good that we're loving this, and it's so much fun. It's been such a fun experience, and I'm glad that I'm able to share it with you guys. So yeah, so I want to know if you have a favorite teacup, and I also want to know if you had a favorite project of today. Would you retry any of these using tissue boxes, or what would you have created using tissue boxes? I want to hear that, because I do have another one in mind for Christmas, and I'm really excited about it. I just hope I can pull it off, which I think I can. So we will be doing another one of these, but I need at least 2 or 3 projects for the video, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. It won't be a tree again, or pumpkin or whatever, but the one I do have for Christmas, I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to share with you guys. So I don't know, it'll be coming. Just sit tight and hold on to it. hold on until we get it done. But yeah, so don't forget, lovies, to hit that hype button. Support us, support us, support us. It's free. And if you also want to show support, you can buy me a coffee. If you can't buy me a coffee, just you being here is enough support for me. And until the next video, lovies, be safe, be kind, hugs and kisses, and happy crafting your days away. Bye.